that these balloons, black colored balloons, were flying very close to PM Modi's chopper.
That's right, Shivangi. We have been seeing that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Hyderabad till early in the morning, till around 9:30. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Hyderabad, and then after which he left for Vijayawada. And from Vijayawada, he was supposed to go to Bhimavaram, where there was 125-year-old anniversary celebrations of Alluri Sita Ramaraju. But at the time when chopper took off from Vijayawada for Bhimavaram, that time we have seen these visuals clearly showing how these black balloons were flown in air and very close to. These balloons can go in any way, but these balloons were very close to PM Modi's chopper.
Absolutely. Anil, just hold on for a second. I'll be coming back to you. Just hold on, because I'm being joined by Shehzad Poonawalla on the phone line. Shehzad, this is an indication that the Prime Minister's security was compromised. What is your first reaction?
This is a deliberate design and a conspiracy by the Congress party, which time and again indulges in threatening the Prime Minister or trying to cause harm to his bodily personage. You've seen it in Punjab. In Punjab, the manner in which the Channi government was responsible for the security threat of the Prime Minister, and that time Congress did not condemn it, and in fact celebrated it. You've seen Sheikh Hussain and Subodh Kant Sahay calling upon death for the Prime Minister, and now you have these leaders in Congress party who could have protested anywhere. Protest, it's a democracy. But what if those balloons contained explosives? What would have happened to the Prime Minister? So you can hate a person, you can oppose a person, but why hate the Prime Minister's position? And we have seen the actions that have been taken by Congress leaders, abusing him, threatening him, trying to cause harm to him, and Congress party takes no action on them. Has Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi ever taken action on any of these cases? No, in fact, they've promoted people who say that they will threaten the Prime Minister, and therefore, this is a deliberate design of the Congress party.
Well, Shehzad, what is very, more concerning is that this happened when PM Modi unveiled the statue of legendary freedom fighter. So this is even something that is more concerning. Shehzad, what do you think about this?
See, the point is that this is not just a protest, this is not just a opposition, this is a deliberate ploy to actually target the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister's position. Do you need Pakistan or do you need Athankwadis if Congress leaders themselves are trying to cause harm to the Prime Minister? Sometimes in Punjab, Mr. Channi's government, you know what they have done? We've seen the deliberate sabotage. Republic Channel was at the forefront of bringing out all the facts of all these cases. We've seen Sheikh Hussain, we've seen Subodh Kant Sahay, and now we've seen these leaders. So do you need terrorists to target the Prime Minister when Congress party is happily doing this kind of activity? I demand, what action will the leaders of Congress party, the Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, what action will they take on all these series of leaders who've been threatening the Prime Minister and who deliberately want to cause damage and personal security damage to the Prime Minister?
Right. Well, thank you, Shehzad Poonawalla, for joining us there on the phone line. BJP national spokesperson had just joined us on this big story that we are breaking right now and continuing the coverage of, as PM Modi was in Andhra Pradesh for the 125th birth anniversary celebration of Alluri Sita Ramaraju. PM Modi's chopper took off from Vijayawada. Black balloons were flown in air. In the video it was seen, these balloons were very close to PM Modi's chopper. Now, I would like to go back to Abhishek. Abhishek, senior executive editor. Now, BJP is calling this a plot. Now, this is definitely a concern coming in at this point of time. Abhishek.
Minister of India's security cannot be compromised in this manner. We have seen how during the Punjab elections, similarly, his target was stopped by protesting farmers on the highway, and he had to spend about half an hour there on the road. This could have been even more dangerous. We keep hearing of incidents of bird hits.
All right. So, like Abhishek Kapoor is telling us right now, this is a concerning matter, a breach of security, second security lapse within months. You can see the balloons there on your screen, viewers, how they're dangerously close to PM's chopper. And this is coming in as the PM Modi was there in Andhra Pradesh. PM Modi had unveiled a 30 feet bronze statue of legendary freedom fighter Alluri Sita Raju, on the latter's 125th birth anniversary. And while this was happening, and many dignitaries paid tribute to Raju on that occasion, and tributes being paid to the freedom fighter and his courage, which inspired every Indian. On the other hand, we are seeing that the Prime Minister's security seems to be compromised. Aneri is joining us back. Aneri has been tracking this story very closely. Aneri, the visuals we see on our screen are concerning for sure, and it seems like it is Congress's politics on PM security from what we can see. But of course, there will be a police investigation as well, Aneri. Take us through the details.
Definitely a lot of concerns now being raised, and now questions also being raised on the security labs, as we see that very clearly. A few more videos which we have access, where we see that Congress workers were seen holding placards, and also the black balloons were seen in their hands. So very clearly these are the Congress workers who are here staging protest ahead of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Bhimavaram, where he was supposed to take part in an event there. And also we see that these black balloons were flown in air, but few also were stopped by the police officials. But still, definitely a lot of questions being raised as to how these black balloons were flown in air despite all the security checks done. But yes, now questions being raised on the security lapses by the intelligence and also by the police officials. We also have been seeing that opposition parties, that is the BJP and the TDP in the state of Andhra Pradesh, have been raising questions against the government in this regard. And police officials say that we are investigating, we are closely monitoring the situation, and exact details will be given out soon. But also, if we see that this video where we have been clearly seen that that these Congress workers were stopped by the police officials, and also now we see that BJP has been questioning the government, the Andhra Pradesh government, over this security lapse, and also the TDP also have been blaming the YSRCP government in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Shivangi.
Okay, Neri, stay on with us. I'm being joined by Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, who will break down the story for us further. Abhishek, we just don't have one. We have multiple videos which are showing the black balloons, and how close they're getting to the Prime Minister's chopper. Take us through those details, Abhishek, for us.
Well, Shivangi, I would say there is clearly a breach of Prime Minister's security. In fact, it seems that the local police was oblivious of the fact that when you have to take care of security of such a VIP, it is not just about taking care of the chopper or the carcade. It is also important that you take care of the perimeter security of the helipad or the airport, wherever this is happening. So in the pictures, it can be clearly seen that the perimeter security was compromised. These Congress protesters reached very close to a place from where they could take these balloons and they could fly them in a direction where the Prime Minister's chopper was flying. It just seems that the choppers moved ahead of the balloons by a few hundred meters, and that is really a breach of security, as the SPG would understand. And I believe the BJP has taken note of it, and serious note of it, and they are going to file a complaint. Even otherwise, every incident of this kind is reviewed by the Special Protection Group the same day, in fact, and a report prepared, submitted to agencies, submitted to state police, and wherever deemed fit, action is recommended. So it's not going to die down immediately, Shivangi. There would be action, most likely, based on a complaint not just by the BJP, but a report by the SPG as well. We have seen how Prime Minister's security was most recently compromised during the Punjab elections, and action was initiated. And similarly, you can expect that here also, based on a technical expert's report that would be prepared by the SPG, action would be initiated and corrective measures also put in place, essentially about perimeter security, because it can be seen from the pictures that the congressmen, though confronted by the cops, they could not stop them from reaching the perimeter and flying the balloons. I'm sure every agency concerned with Prime Minister's security in the state and of course at the national level would take note of this and changes in protocol made so that a repeat of this does not happen. Of course, goes without saying that a politicization of Prime Minister's security should not be the objective of anyone, right from those Congress protesters on the ground to the Congress leadership, and irrespective of whatever issues they have. And in fact, it seems that the Congress has the YSR as their main opponent in Andhra Pradesh and not the BJP. And despite that, if they sought to target the Prime Minister and do it in a manner that the Prime Minister's security was compromised, is not good for the country and not good for politics indeed. So that's why, as I said, even the political party should restrain their workers from indulging in the act that they have. It can be clearly seen that the bunch of balloons did fly just behind the choppers, and that's a bit of a saving grace in the sense that the choppers flew and after that the Congress protesters reached the site. It could have been the other way around and added to the danger to the choppers of the Prime Minister. And of course, it's not just one chopper, it's Prime Minister's chopper and that of the SPG, which flies in formation whenever the Prime Minister travels, has to take the chopper route. Now we are told that the BJP is going to file a complaint. In fact, police has moved in and 4 Congress workers have been detained, plus one who could be identified in the visuals is absconding. If you can go to Aneri to get more details of what's exactly happened on the ground and what action is taking place, even as we hear that balloons were released almost 4 kilometers from the airport, and yet we can see that the choppers are close by. It's not the incident might have happened a little far from the airport, but